Trendline trading does not work. Now, I don't mean that trendline trading can't work or it doesn't work at all, but I see a lot of people getting trendline trading wrong. So today I'm going to show you some key elements that you can add to trendline trading to make sure you're getting the best optimal entry, a higher risk to reward, and a higher win rate by using these key elements that you're adding to trendline trading. We're going to use it for trendline trading itself, and we're also going to use it for trend reversals. So I'm going to show you, we're going to jump on the charts really quick, and I'm going to show you how to add these really simple key elements. It's going to change your trendline trading. You're going to be nailing every single trendline trade. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so firstly, one of the first ways that I see people getting trendline trading wrong is they're trading specifically just off of a trend line. Now, the thing with trend lines is trend lines can be very subjective. You know, you could be placing your trend line wrong, and if you're trading every time price hits your trend line, it's going to be pretty useless. So the first way I see people getting wrong is they're taking trades every time price is coming up and then touching back into the trend line. Now, in theory, this sounds, pretty simple, and it would be an easy way to trade, but realistically, most of the time price is breaking through these trend lines quite a bit. So the best way to add on to this is to add a few simple key techniques to increase your win rate and make sure that you're getting in these trades when price is reversing at these areas here. Even when price breaks past the trend line, you'll still be able to catch trades going to the upside even if price comes further back. And that's how I'm going to help you trade better trend lines. I'm not saying that trend lines are bad necessarily. Trend lines can be very helpful. It can give you a good direction. It can give you a directional bias, knowing which way price will most likely head. Now, Forex obviously has trends to it. It's not to say that price isn't going to trend, but it's not a good idea to necessarily trade every single time price hits these trend lines. Now, if you figure out a way to know exactly when price is going to reverse when it hits these lines, then you are. But I see a lot of beginners sending me, a lot of questions wondering why they enter here and price still ends up going down. Well, today I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you how you can prevent that. Okay, so we're here on the charts, and now I'm going to show you why trendline trading can kind of be a little bit unpredictable and why trend lines are very subjective. So if we look at the chart here, as we can see, I have two trend lines marked out right now. Now, which trend line is more accurate in this situation? Like, would this one be more accurate here because we're connecting these two highs and it's going out like that? Or is this trend line more appropriate here when it's going down and connecting to all these highs here? So this is what I mean. It's kind of subjective and it's impossible to tell exactly where to place it. Because for most of you, I'm sure you're saying this one is more accurate because it's lining up like this. But then if I were to undo replay mode here, as you can see, this is the more accurate trend line here. So rather than basing your whole entry off of the trend line itself, it's better to actually have another key important part to your trading to make sure that you're getting good entries rather than entering just on the trend line alone, because a lot of you can be entering specifically on the trend line, and yes, it would work here and it would work here, but technically we wouldn't even know that this trend line should have been here when we were back here. So it's impossible to tell exactly where you should put your trend line. So a trend line is a good directional tool, and it is a good way to understand where price is going, and it's a good way to understand where price is most likely going to pull back to, but it's not going to be exactly 100% accurate. And that's what we're trying to fix here. We're trying to understand that it's not going to be super accurate, but it's going to be a nice general area where price tends to come back to and fall back to that trend line. And now we're going to worry about how can we enter to make sure we're getting the most optimal entries near the trend lines. And this is what's going to turn that trend line trading that I say doesn't really work too well into something that's going to work very well for you. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're here in the charts, and I'm going to show you the key element that you need to add on top of your trend trading strategy to get you to that next level, to get you those better entries, and to get you to lose less, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to optimize our trading strategy to win more, lose less, have a higher win rate. If we're looking at the charts here, a trend line, a good trend line may look like this, where you're connecting this low with those, making sure that's nicely attached there, hitting all these points. And if you're looking for a trade and you're looking to enter here, you're going to be looking for price to touch around here and then enter in these zones like this. So I, personally would see a lot of my students a lot of people that I've teached looking for entries exactly on the line like that. And, you know, we would see it come down, enter in, and it's not exactly breaking right on the line, as you can see. Now, this trade might have worked out here, but then once again, we continue forward. We have another trade right there. Okay, cool. I'm going to enter on that line, you know, set my targets above, and price is going straight down into your take profit. This is because, you know, a lot of institutional investors know that people are actually going to be entering on this line. So it's nice for them to have all, you know, price be manipulated and come down and end up hitting your stop losses and taking a lot of people out of their trades and then going up into profit. So how can we stay a part of this trend and still trade with the trend while getting better entries? Well, this is the most important part, and this is where we can drop down to the 1 minute time frame. Let's say we're on the hour and we're trading, we're looking for these. This is where we jump down to the 1 minute time frame, and now we can get a better and a closer look on these smaller time frames and get a better entry when price approaches our trend line. So we can rewind it back here, and this would be before price has hit the trend line here. So what you do is you wait till price hits your trend line. Okay, it's now touched the trend line. Now we're going to jump to the 1 minute, to the lower time frames, and this is where we're actually going to see the momentum start to shift and start to turn, because we know that on the 1 hour prices come near our trend line. This is good. This tells us, okay, cool, price is going to reverse. This is a good spot. So now we have to wait for a good entry. Well, how do we know when to enter? Well, to simply put it, just like all my other strategies that I have, using the MACD is very important, because it is going to tell you where the highs and the lows are. So right here we see we have a high. And now all we're going to do is wait for one of these highs to get broken and a nice little pullback. And that's all we do. So referring back to the charts here, you know, when we have a trend line, when price, you know, is making these moves, and then we have one that will pull back and not necessarily, you know, stick to the trend line, you're going to lose on this trade. Well, how do we counter that? How do we make sure we're getting a better entry? And how do we make sure that we're taking the trade down here rather than up here? Well, that's when we drop to the lower time frame, and this pullback that you see here, you know, this pullback that you see here happen here, this is where we need to jump and zoom in on this area and see what's actually going on. So when we jump in and we see this price action, we see, you know, a smaller trend going on, and what we're going to do is we're going to wait for one of these highs here to get broken above, and that's when we're going to see momentum start to shift. So then on the larger time frame, it's going to look like this, right? And we're going to be able to enter here. So now we wait on the 1 minute here. We're going to wait to see if we can get a break above one of these highs. Now we're going to select this one because this is the new high here. And as you can see, we get a nice little break here. We'll wait for a little bit of a pullback. Just enter on that little bit of pullback there. Make sure to set your stop below. And now we have a better entry. Now our entry is more optimized. So we're going to get a better risk to reward ratio, because now we can actually optimize our entry to have our stop below there, have a bigger risk to reward, because now we know that this is the bottom of that trend. So when we zoom back out on the 1 hour, we know, okay, this is the bottom now. Rather than the bottom being on the trend line, we actually know where the bottom is because we went to the 1 minute and we were able to catch that bottom move on the 1 minute. So this confirms to us that the trend is now reversing. So then we'll see that we've got that better entry, and now we'll be able to catch those better trades because we are able to zoom in on the lower time frame. And the same thing happens here again. So as you can see on the 1 hour, we've come down, we've touched this trend line. This is where we jump to the 1 minute, and we're going to look for the same pattern to happen. We want to look for a low to get broken. We wait for price to break above one of those highs again. So we're going to look at the MACD, and we are going to watch out for that. Make sure that we can get a nice break to the upside. So we're going to wait till we get a nice clear break of a high. Looks like right here, we had a clear break of a high. So right here, this is our high here. We had a nice break above it and pulled back. Our entry would have been back here, set our stop loss below, and once again have our take profit, you know, nice and above there. Now we have a bigger, once again, risk to reward. So now we have these two trades here. We have this trade from before and this trade. Now we have, you know, bigger risk to reward, smaller stop loss, better entry, because now we actually picked the bottom of the trend rather than it being exactly on the trend line. Now all we have to do is let this play out. And as you can see, it goes right up And that's how you can perfectly pick the bottom of these trends. Now, like I said, it's not that trendline trading doesn't work. It's that a lot of you are using it wrong and getting it wrong. And a lot of you are losing trades because you're not getting the best optimal point in your trading strategy. And you're not getting the best optimal entry for this strategy. So this is a really good way to get those optimal entries. And it's what I use for a lot of my trading strategies. So I'm going to show you now how you can do this with breakouts as well, because this is good for trendline trading. But how can we use this when we actually want to see price break out of the trend? We can also use this to make money during trend breaks as well. And I see a lot of people getting that wrong as well. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now, if you've watched this long, I'm actually going to be giving out free access to my simple Forex course. I want to help a lot of you guys out. And a lot of you are starting to open up accounts and starting to trade, but you don't have any guidance. You don't have anything like that. And it is the holidays. It is December. So I want to give back and give out some free access to my course. So special deal right now. If you open up an account with AAAFX and you get started trading, I'm going to give you a free course to go along with your trading and get you the guidance you need to give you some guidance with your trading, because I know a lot of you guys are opening accounts and you don't have any sort of guidance. I want to give back. Limited time deal. This is just going on for December. If you sign up with AAAFX and deposit, we're going to do a $50 minimum. Hit me up in my Discord. The Discord is down below. You're going to message Simple Forex on Discord. Show me proof that you got your deposit. Send me your email that you used and I'll be able to see proof of your deposit. And I'm going to give you free access to the Simple Forex course. This is a limited time deal. So it's not going to last forever. Get this now while it's December. Okay guys, so we're gonna get on to the next section here. I'm gonna show you how you can use this with trend reversal trading as well. So let's get into that. So same thing as I said with trendline trading. I see a lot of you getting it wrong. I see a lot of you getting this wrong as well. So some of you will do trendline breakout trading where price is making a nice downtrend. And then when price breaks out like this, you're looking to enter in these areas. Well, this is also something that I see a lot of people get wrong too, because what you can have these fake breakouts where it's going to do something like this and it's going to have these to start to break out. And then you're all going to get excited thinking that price is going to go up and then it just ends up reversing back down. So how can you also get a better optimal entry here to make sure that you're getting these good reversal trades? I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's hop on the charts. I'm going to show you exactly what you can do to get better entries for this as well. Okay guys, so we are here on the charts and I'm going to show you how you can do the same technique but with trend reversals or trend breakouts. So let's say we're on the charts here and we're waiting for this trend to make a breakout. So basically we're waiting for price to break through. That way we can make some sells to the downside. Same thing here. I see a lot of you sending me trades where price will happen to break through the trend line and all of a sudden it's go, 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 sell. That's not what we're doing here. We want to make sure that we're actually entering off of good price action. So what is that good price action? How do we know when to enter? Well, similar thing here, except we don't have to drop to the lower time frames for this. Whatever time frame you're trading on, that's what you're going to stick to. So instead of trading exactly when price starts to exit and break through like this, a lot of people might get excited and be like, oh, it's going to start falling. Let's enter. Let's put our stop loss there, take profit all the way down there. Oh, look at that. It's going to fall. It's going to fall any minute. No, we lost. Dang it. How do we make sure that we're actually getting these reversal trades? How do you make sure that you're actually entering in the correct spots? Well, same thing. Like we discussed previously, it's important to pay attention to the highs and lows. And what we're waiting for on a uptrend, we're waiting for price to break a higher low. So we have a higher low here and we need to wait for price to break that. Until we see price break that, we cannot enter the trade. Whether you think it's going to go down or not, we need to see price break that first. Because once we have price break that, then that tells us that the trend is going to start reversing and that's when we can take our sells. So here we go. Now we have a nice break of that trend line. So this is now when we can actually enter, set our stops above and our take profit low. This is when we can actually enter. That's when we are going to get the most optimal spot. And as you can see, that's when the trend reverses. So a lot of you guys who are trading these trend lines and trend line reversals and whatnot, it's okay. You can trade trend lines. It's very profitable, but you gotta know how to enter correctly. And that's what I wanted to show here today. Lastly, we're gonna show you the same thing for an uptrend as well. Showed you this for a downtrend. Works the exact same way for an uptrend, but I know a lot of you are gonna want to see another example. So we're gonna get right into that. Okay guys, so here we have a nice, beautiful example of a nice, beautiful downtrend. Now, like I said, we can mark out all these lower highs here. In an uptrend, you're gonna mark out the higher lows. In a downtrend, you're gonna mark out the lower highs. And you want to see price come up and break above one of these. So you're gonna always mark out the most recent one. So that's recent, and then this is the most recent on this one here. So we wanna see price break above that first. So we got price trying to break it there. Nice, we got price has broken above our lower high. So now we just wait for a nice little pullback. And there we go, that's our entry right off that. We're gonna enter, stop below, targets above. This is how we are going to get our better, more optimized entries, better risk to rewards. And we're not just going to enter off of a feeling that price is going to reverse because, you know, it broke out of the trend or whatever. This is better because we actually have a trigger that tells us price is going to reverse because we broke above that lower high. So here you go. That's your example for a downtrend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Trendline trading can work, but I've just seen a lot of people trading or using it wrong. So this is going to hopefully help you a lot. Appreciate you watching.